Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Charlotte Corley. I'm the Commissioner of the Mississippi Department of Banking and Consumer Finance, and I was recently named Chair-elect of the Conference of State Bank Supervisors. I've spent nearly my entire career in public service, and it's so rewarding for me to see young people like the winning team from the University of Akron studying local financial institutions. After graduating from Mississippi State University, I served a brief stint in a community bank before joining the department as a bank examiner. I worked my way through the ranks and was ultimately named commissioner in 2014. My love of public service and the regulatory side of banking has led me to a fulfilling and impactful career. I hope that the CSBS case study competition directs undergraduate students to a similar path. If you are not familiar with the CSBS case study competition, it is an annual undergraduate research competition that requires student teams to produce a unique case study of a local bank. With the assistance of a faculty advisor, students partner with the local bank, study the bank's impact on the local market, and then generally give recommendations and suggestions for that bank. The 2017 competition was focused on succession planning. We have a video.
On September 21, 1864, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency granted Charter Number 568 to First National Bank of Berwick. Since the inception, the bank has played a key role in the life of the local community. In 2007, the bank completed an acquisition of Pocono Community Bank, thus expanding its operating footprint into additional counties. During the same time, the bank announced its decision to change the name to First Keystone Community Bank to reflect its now more regional nature.
Community banking is in a unique position to help the communities that we serve. We work in these communities, we live here, we play here, we go to church here. In terms of our management succession plan, we need to identify individuals that prefer a more rural lifestyle. We've found that it's best for us to identify that in a candidate up front. In terms of senior management of the bank, the succession plan goes on to identify candidates and their where they stand in their progression, in their career development, to be prepared to handle the next level position. And we actually identify candidates whether they would be ready now, whether they may be ready in 1 to 2 years, or whether they would be ready in 3 to 5 years.
As far as challenges within the organization and our succession plan, we have identified by going through our organization chart that we do have some openings. We have some retirements that are coming up, I'm going to say shortly, anywhere from a year to 3 years from now.
As far as the CEO goes, the plan is developed down to the level of communications with media and communications with large customers and communications with shareholders to make sure that we get the information out about what is happening during the transition and what the bank is doing to replace that position.
Ames National Corporation, or ANC for short, is a bank holding company based in Ames, Iowa, consisting of 5 subsidiary community banks with total assets of $1.3 billion. They have a track record of demonstrated productivity and efficiency.
In the history of America, community banks have played a really important role, and that role has been as the name indicates, to primarily finance the needs of the local community.
Our commercial people have very strong and close relationships with the people that they deal with. You have to understand their business, you have to be immersed in it and know not as much as the owner does, but you have to know a lot about the company.
Because customer and community relationships are central to a community bank's success, the bank leadership needs to ensure they are not lost when successors take over.
Well, there are different kinds of succession planning, and I'm not quite sure what the context is for your study with community banks, but I know it's something that is best not left to chance.
If we can, we like to grow our own because then we know what we've got, we know what kind of skills they have, they understand the culture, they understand the community, the customers, the relationships, and the strategies that we have in place to grow and to move forward.
My name is David Hunsicker, and I'm the President, CEO, and Chairman of the Board. And I've been here 44 years. The bank has always been very profitable. We actually have roots in this organization today, believe it or not, from 1910. But the culture of the bank has always been to make money for the shareholders. Succession and earnings have a lot to do with keeping the bank alive. And you have to have the earnings. Because if you have the earnings, you have the ability to attract strong leaders into the organization. And that's just critical.
What attracted me to Nutropoli first and foremost was the cultural fit. Nutropoli is a community bank. It identifies communities that it wants to serve and serves those communities in ways that are just astounding. We approach hiring millennials really from the standpoint of development of very, very good, very solid bankers who have a great career ahead of them. It's an age bracket that's important from a customer standpoint, but even more important from an employee standpoint, because you are the next wave. You're the next wave of employees that are going to be here for a very long period of time.
When I started the bank 44 years ago, I had the ability to work with my successor before me that was a very successful banker, and he taught me everything about banking. He had a way of putting you in a situation, and you either sank or you swam. And I guess I learned how to swim.
Centennial Bank has its roots in West Texas. The bank got its start as Hale County State Bank in 1934 in Plainview, Texas, about 45 miles north of Texas Tech. In 1964, the bank was purchased by E.W. Williams, at the time a $20 million bank. Since then, the bank has made several acquisitions and expansions. Centennial now has 14 locations, serving a large geographic area of Texas stretching over 400 miles and has assets totaling over $700 million.
We are not a complex company. We're a pretty traditional business model. We stay on the proper side of glass steagall.
What is succession planning to me? Succession planning is providing the leadership for the company so you can move it to the next level. It's as key an element of success to the future operation of the company as being well capitalized and well run.
That I am a self-proclaimed culture guy. Culture beats strategy, hands down, every time. If you don't have the right people or have the right culture in your organization, you're not going to be effective in administering that strategy, whatever it is.
I think that boards tend to get, in the banking industry, very old, but we don't represent really the diversity of our age groups we're trying to serve. There's probably nothing worse than having 10, 60-plus-year-olds trying to determine what a millennial wants.
We're in the process of going through very similar succession planning with our directors and making them more accountable, because we want them, our outside directors, we want them to bring us business
We want them to be actively engaged in our board meeting and providing outside business people that have different perspectives. We want them to contribute more. We need new blood. We need new people that have different ways of looking things, and we need some new blood.
People's Bank was founded in 1902 in Marietta, Ohio, which is a small town at the southeast corner of Ohio, where the Ohio and Muskingum rivers collide. People's Bank has the distinction of surviving not only the Great Depression as well as the Great Recession, but also having a 115-year history. And that longevity, combined with particularly strong growth in the very recent past, has really driven us to wonder what they've done right.
Coming here was great to be able to get things done. This company needed help. I was able to come in with a good background to help. This is a company with a meaningful insurance business, a meaningful investment business. I had background there, and I was able to help on the credit side.
We're passionate about developing that future leadership for the company. The professional development program is one way that we do that. By bringing entry-level college graduates in.
We really, strive to promote from within. So I think it's good for the bank.
I do believe that in the next 5 years, we will do much less external hiring than we have done in the last 5 years. We have in-house. I'm sure our next CFO is in-house. I'm sure our next chief credit officer is in-house. I'm sure there are things that we're going to have to go outside for, but a lot less in the next few years than we have in the last 5 years. First off, we've got a good, strong board, and it continually refreshes itself. And I've been very pleased at how it's developed over my tenure. We have a succession plan. It's actively managed. We review it on an annual basis in detail. Females are underrepresented on boards in general, which makes no sense to me. I think that the role of the community bank board has changed and is in the process of change. Historically, people who are on community bank boards were large customers or who's who in the community or in the market. And the movement is much more to skills. So who is the financial expert? Who has an understanding of cyber? Who has an understanding of emerging technologies?
So this year we had 33 teams from universities all over the country, including schools like my alma mater, Mississippi State University, who didn't make the highlight video. But it was a very competitive year. However, one team rose to the top and produced a case study that was not only comprehensive, but insightful, creative, and data-driven. Please allow me to introduce the winners of the 2017 CSBS case study competition, the team from Akron. And from your left, I'll start with the team members. We have Michael Moore, Jeff Kelbach, Kenan Sprague, Jacob Ruccio Cole, Dr. Banu Balasubramanian, the faculty advisor, and the CEO of People's Bank, which is located in Marietta, Ohio, Chuck Solariski. The floor is yours.